My name is Jim Connolly, and I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I attended the online boot camp for the first 2 days, and I was able to get the information for the policy coverage and things that are unique to flood. And then I attended the in-person training with Bob for the last 3 days, which I really felt was beneficial because it allowed me to go out and spend field time and learn from his vast knowledge. The reason I came to the course, had a big 7.0, and anytime you get a 0 in your age, it gives you time to really think. And I've climbed roofs for quite a while. I did active adjusting for wind for about 10 years, and but I would like to be able to adjust and not have the danger of being up in the roof. And also, to be honest, I see that drones and different type of equipment and technologies are going to affect the wind a lot more than it could ever the flood adjusting. And I've worked Sandy. I worked some flood there, but it was very frustrating not knowing what all to put in particular forms, even though it was similar to wind adjusting. And so I invested in coming out here and trying to get the qualifications to be an excellent flood adjuster. Field inspection day was quite interesting. We're down here in Panama City in Florida, and of course this wasn't quite ground zero for Hurricane Michael, but Bob took us over to Mexico Beach, and that was ground zero, and we saw some horrific damage there and so on. And it was really good because we were able to look at wind damage, flood damage. Bob was really good about explaining things that we need to look for to determine the cause of loss, whether it's, in this case, whether it's wind or flood. And there was both items, both cause of losses in Hurricane Michael. So it was very good. And we went to one home that was kind of a ranch home. It was pretty cookie cutter, and we're able to do that first. And then we went to kind of a turn of the century, and I'm talking about the 19th century. And that home was very unique in all of its construction features and so on. It was quite challenging, and we're spending today writing up the claim for that particular home. This course is benefiting me as far as being proficient and productive when I get out in the field. One thing I'm going to do when I get home, I'm going to reinforce it by going online. That's a tremendous advantage to have that online available. And even if I'm out there at 12:30 at night and I'm kind of stuck and want to go to bed, but I want to wrap up the claim, I can go back into that online course. And it's almost like a YouTube presentation that Bob does. It's really, really effective. And I can go out and pull that little nugget out in order to get that claim closed. So I'm really excited moving forward, whereas before I was a little intimidated about going back into flood, because if you're not prepared in flood, I don't care how much wind you did, you've kind of prepared to fail. And so it's I feel this course prepares you to succeed. As far as other courses, each year NFIP requires you to recertify, and that course is beneficial, but it really doesn't tell you how to adjust a loss. It covers policy, but I can tell you also that Bob, being that we work long hours and so on, he goes over that policy about quadruple of what they do in the recertification and so on. And it's really important that you know the policy, so otherwise you're getting out there and you're paying things you shouldn't be paying for, or even worse, you're not paying for things to make the customer whole. This course prepares you to go out, hit the ground running. One other thing that's really important, Bob gives you not only that online training, but he gives you tokens, he gives you macros for all the reports, and it's the bomb, I can tell you that. It allows you to efficiently close out claims and therefore take a lot of the stress out when you're out there working in the field in a very stressful situation. Yes, I've learned several things about Xactimate. I'd say I was probably about a level 2 in Xactimate, but I picked up some really good tips from Bob. Some of them are so advanced I may have a problem remembering all of them, but again, I can drop back to the online training. But others, just a few clicks that he showed us will save a tremendous amount of time. One example, you can go into a sketch, you can search for an item, and when you right click on it, and I don't use that right click that much on the mouse, but when you right click, several related items drop down. And what I did in the past, I've tried to use my memory, which is fading as the years go by, but and I may miss items, but when you have those related items, you can say, oh yeah, it's just almost like a buffet at the Chinese restaurant. You can say, I need this, this, and this, and then you have totally covered whatever line item is that you're dealing with, and so on. I can't say that the training exceeded my expectations because my expectations were already very high. Bob, I'll be honest with you, he's a personal friend of mine. He was before I came here. What's kind of odd is I never met him personally, but I talked to him on the phone several times because we worked one flood together, although it was in different parts of the state. And he is, as you'll see on his online training, he's got a very good presentation. Doesn't go too fast, doesn't lose you, but he moves along at a strong pace. And if you're looking to come here and just spend 8 hours training, probably not going to happen, but that's kind of the way it is out in the field as well. So it's a very aggressive course, but I've learned a heck of a lot. I certainly believe it will. You have to spend money to make money. And it's true not only the tools that you take out in the field and so on, but the biggest tool that you can take out is your knowledge of the product and so on. And with what I've learned about the flood policy, with the Xactimate and completing the various forms and so on, I know I'm going to be able to close claims more proficiently. And time's money in this business. Time's your enemy, but if you get out there and incorporate all that Bob teaches you, then the money will follow. If I do a good loss, that'll pay for this course. I think not only making money and turning in claims, but not having as many kickbacks when you're able to submit them the way that Bob teaches you and so on. Thank you so much.